Hey, welcome to Nightwave Radio and H Team Management, sponsored by CBD oil, hemp oil. Along the bottom, you can see it all down there and get the website off of there. Welcome, Dr. BLT, the only one we call Dr. BLT. What's going on, my friend?
Hey, Buster. So good to be joining you this evening.
I know are you down from all that smoke and stuff, or?
We had a little bit of smoke. I got a little bit of soot on my car one of those days, a few days back, maybe about a week ago, but it's not too bad over here in San Diego.
Oh, okay. So y'all south of all of that or something, or?
Yeah, the winds are blowing in the right direction, I guess. For now.
Yeah, we've been praying and stuff over there. So I know you, college professor?
I retired from that. I'm just working as a psychologist right now
Okay.
at the health center here in San Diego.
Oh, okay. So I understood you was a professor, and that's the reason I was asking.
I did that for about 20 years, and then I realized I was an introvert, and I started getting weary of doing those 3-ring circuses for 4 hours straight. So,
so now you're concentrating on your music and stuff when you got time, I noticed.
yeah, the music keeps coming. I'm sort of it's good that I'm a psychologist because I'm kind of a hybrid of a singer-songwriter and a psychologist. I sort of see the two as going together. The music is, a lot of it comes from my prairie.
I'm sorry. I got a little interrupted there with a message on my phone.
I thought that was a fan screaming.
Nah, it probably was something come up on the phone, and
I have some unusual fans, so
we all do. Trust me, we all do. So being a songwriter and stuff, and this COVID-19 is going on and everything. How's it affected you out there?
Well, for me, everything is grist for the songwriting mill. And, my family's safe. My loved ones are safe. I feel bad for those that were more directly affected, people that lost their jobs. I still have a job to go to. Like I said, I feel bad for those that are less fortunate. And I'm very grateful that I still have a job and that my family is in good health. And as far as the anxiety that all of us have felt through all of this, and the news likes to hype it up and make everybody panic. So I try not to follow that closely. Although I am a bit of a news junkie, but I take it all in. During the sort of the epicenter of the crisis, I put out an album called 6 Feet Apart or 6 Feet Under, and that.
Right.
That was a kind of a psychological intervention at the same time as it was just a showcase of some of the songs that I had written dealing with COVID. But now I'm moving on to more fun material. So,
talking about that and everything, and then all the stuff that's going on right now with the weather and fires and stuff, you was talking about jobs and stuff, that's affected a lot of people right now. And what I'm trying to get at in the music world, with y'all, as you as a songwriter, artist, and everything, you can bring happiness, some of them, with your music.
That's right. I've been through rags and not riches, but rags to middle class. I grew up in a family where sometimes we were really poor. Other times, my dad sold some land or something, or sold some cattle, and we were doing better, but it was a roller coaster. So, but I did know times when I was poor, so I people that go through that. And growing up in the Midwest, that's where, like I was saying, that's where my musical roots come from. And even though I've got this fancy education, I'm still a prairie boy at heart, and music comes from. And like on Trailer Park Shrink, my latest album, it's basically a concept album, and the title track involves the story of a Beverly Hills shrink that gives up his practice. He stops seeing all the big stars and heads on to Mobile, Alabama, and puts up a shingle at a trailer park and does his practice there for free.
Right.
Gets free hillbilly beer and burgers. They love to treat him well, and he sees folks at the trailer park.
Uh, you said you come from the Midwest. What took you to out west?
Well, Buster, when I was in 12th grade, my family, which consisted of my mom and dad and 5 kids, I was a middle child. We headed down. My dad was furthering education that involved travel from time to time, so we moved down from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan to Fresno, California. Our house wasn't ready to be moved into yet, and so we stayed with my great aunt and uncle. And I'd never seen palm trees before, so that really caught great big palm trees in the backyard. Of course, I'd seen them on TV shows like Starsky and Hutch and
Right.
stuff like that. But they had a hammock between those two big palm trees, and I decided I was going to stay there for the night. And I had my little AM/FM shortwave radio, and I was pretty zonked, so I just wiped out for the night. But I was really looking forward to waking up, turning on that radio, and listening to some California tunes, the latest California tunes, which I was missing out on back in Saskatchewan for the most part. Anyway, I turned on my radio when the sun went up, and the first thing that came out of those speakers were "Elvis is Dead."
Dang.
That was my welcome to California.
That's been many years ago too. I mean,
Yes, I'm definitely aging myself here.
you ain't the only one, Bruce. You ain't the only one, my friend. Talking about music and stuff, the songs you've written and stuff, we everybody's got a chance to hear them, and now you've got them on CD and stuff. And you know, I see you about every day. I don't catch you all the time, but I see you about every day. Get on Facebook and do a couple songs, maybe 4 or 5 songs that you've written. And you got an album out now. You want to elaborate on that a little bit?
Sure. Well, the songs that I've put out on CD are just the tip of the iceberg. Even though I've been able to put out 4 CDs so far in 2020, and Trailer Park Shrink is the second CD I put out in the summertime of 2020. First one was called "Assault with a Deadly Woman," and Trailer Park that came out on July 4th, and then on Labor Day I introduced to my fans Trailer Park Shrink. And I told you already the story of the behind the album. Now
Right.
that story is kind of played out in different ways and different songs, but not every single song on the CD ties in with that concept, but it is there. And for example, there's a song called Trailer Park Girl. It's about someone falling in love with a young lady from the trailer park. There's one called Someone Else's Trash is My Trailer Treasure.
Right.
One of the favorites. And then there's one on there called Cheap Tape Recorder. And they all tell stories. This particular story of love.
Right. I can hear that.
Puts it on a tape recorder, a cheap tape recorder that he borrowed from the Trailer Park Shrink.
Right.
puts a message on there on the cassette in the form of a song, hoping that he'll hear it someday. He doesn't care if it becomes a hit or anything, as long as she hears it. So I cover song on the CD. On Assault with a Deadly Woman, I came out with 2 cover songs. One was the cover of the Rolling Stones. Let's see, what is it? 19th Nervous Breakdown. I thought it kind of tied in with the whole shrink concept. And I also covered a song that was written by Mel Tillis called "Ruby, Don't Take Your Love to Town."
Right.
It was made famous by Kenny Rogers. But on this new album, I also have I pay tribute to the Bakersfield sound wherever I can, because I spent quite a few years in Bakersfield, and I got to know some people. I got compared by Buck Owens to Johnny Cash, which was I don't deserve it, but I did get that compliment from Buck Owens through I heard one of the Buckaroos told me that
Right.
who's a keyboard player. But I try to pay tribute in every album a little bit to that Bakersfield sound, made famous by Buck Owens and Merle Haggard, Tommy Collins, Rose Maddox, a bunch of those great artists. And so on Road Colored Glasses, that's not rose colored, but Road Colored Glasses. That was
Right.
of 2020. There's a song on there called I've never been to Nashville, but I've been to Bakersfield. And on this particular CD, Trailer Park Shrink, the track number 1 is called Buckle Up, We're Going to Bakersfield. So it's another tribute to Buck Owens, Merle Haggard, and all those great artists representing the Bakersfield sound. It's got so my music, I'm a little bit country, a little bit rock and roll, but more of a country, raw, straight from the heart, storytelling, country singer-songwriter.
Well, see, that's what I was wanting you to do, is talk about yourself a little bit so people could understand, where you come from with your music and stuff.
Right.
And that way, we got a good friend there in Tennessee. Both of us do. Howie.
Absolute Hollywood Howie.
Hollywood Howie.
Very character.
Southern Country Radio, I think is what he calls himself when doing his radio show.
Buster, I will give you a hint that my next album, which is a Christmas album, it'll be coming out in early November. It will be strongly influenced by Southern country and Southern rock.
Okay.
That's about all I'm going to give away at this moment.
Well, when it gets close to that time, you're going to have to slip one of them MP3s over to me.
Absolutely.
So we could play it. But, of all the artists and stuff out there, you can go from the East Coast to the West Coast, all the way up north to Canada, UK and stuff, your music is like I told a lady the other day, she's from Canada, and you was talking about Merle Haggard and Roy Clark and all them guys, from Bakersfield too. But she liked the older style Nashville, she called it, music, which is country music, from like Patsy Cline and some of them,
Absolutely.
And it's nice to get to talk to an artist that sees that and want to write songs almost like they did, or play one of their songs as a cover song.
Yep.
Today's music is trying to come back, but you really don't get that hardly no more.
That's right, but we're going to keep putting it out there until people learn to appreciate it again. There's a lot. It's got a huge following. There's a lot of people that do appreciate it, but I think that we need to bring more people on board, because it's straight from the heart. It comes from some hard times that people went through way back. We're going through hard times now, so I think these hard times, will produce some of that really good, straight from the heart country music.
Yeah, a lot of my friends growing up and said, they used to tell me, so why do you listen to that beer drinking music for? And I never thought of it that way. It's just like you just said it. It comes from the heart. it's about somebody's life. It's you know, that's the way I look at it.
Well, you know what? It's interesting that you bring up the concept of beer drinking songs because I've come out with a few of those myself, and on the new CD, actually, there is a beer drinking song. It's actually called "There's a High Price to Pay for Cheap Liquor." And, it's kind of a fun way of warning people of the dangers of drinking too much, but at the same time, it's the kind of song you just want to settle down into a honky tonk and listen to on the jukebox and have a cold one, you know?
Yeah. You know, back when I was growing up and stuff, I know you probably did some of the stupid things too.
Oh,
But
yeah.
back when I was growing up, you know, I went out on a Saturday night and hung out with my friends, and it was this little place out in the, I called it the boonies, way we back in the South we did, and we went out there, and they didn't allow you to bring alcohol in. I mean, like in a bottle, or they didn't serve alcohol. But I always use Toby Keith because he talks about the red Solo cups. But they would switch colors on us inside because when they served their drinks and snacks and stuff in there, they would switch colors. So we'd have to go in and buy a drink from them at first, then go back out and put whatever beer, or we're going to put out liquor in it. There was a guy come out there one night with a lantern and he had real moonshine in it.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And, they didn't say nothing to him because he was a respectable guy. You know, he's an older guy. Everybody respected him. Even the owners was older people, but they respected him.
They probably
And,
moonshine too.
yeah, that's when you get back to the honky tonk, as you talking about.
Yeah.
It was more of a family place for family to be at,
Right.
and the band there, I know about all the members. I grew up with some of their kids, and some of us was about the same. Well, no, we wasn't. They was older than I was, but their kids, I grew up with them. But you know, honky tonk, like you were saying, is in the past. But I think a lot of young kids I've noticed too and I've heard that is wanting it to come back.
Yeah, that's right. And you know, even some of my Facebook friends that are younger, they're jumping on that train. You know, we have Johnny Swinney and Zach Clifton. There's a number of them, really good young country artists that are out there, and I think that you're really doing us a great favor. All those that are kind of on the underground, underdogs, you know, in the world of country music. You know, as far as I consider you, and I think I'm not alone. Kind of, I call you a honky tonk hero
Thank you.
for the underdog underground people.
Right.
You dig. You don't look for the big stars. You look for people that are up and coming, that are really, you know, they're not really, you know, in the spotlight, and you actually put them in the spotlight. You know.
Well, like I've said in the past, I've had over 3 million people listening to my radio station. I've
That's
posted that. This banner behind me with the ISSA, I represent them here in Oklahoma, but it's it's a young lady there in Georgia. Me and her got to know each other about 7 years ago. I done a live interview with her, and then she started this group for songwriters like you, and they got international. It's a great organization to be with. But I've talked to several artists like you was talking about. It's one I talked to the other night. I think you might have seen it. Bobby Johnson.
absolutely. I've heard Bobby. He
Okay.
comes on live every now and then, and I
Yes,
like.
sir. But he brings back the old music too, and he's written songs with some of them there in Nashville that was if you talk to him and listen to him, I talked to him and some other that live there in Nashville on the phone sometimes, and I learn a lot from y'all. I do. It helps me know where I want to go to with the music and stuff.
Well, we really appreciate it, and I know that we got to work as a family, and I always try to give people credit that deserve it, like my producer. He's been working with me on the past 5 CDs, starting with this one here, Trailer Park Scrooge.
Right.
He's been helping me on
Figure.
this one, Road Colored Glasses, as well.
That's cool pictures. I like the way you designed them.
I do my own artwork on most of my CDs, this one and this one.
That's pretty cool.
And my wife did Assault with a Deadly Woman. She did the artwork for that. So I want to give my wife credit. I want to give Jason Perry credit. And I also want to, of course, give you credit for giving us the platform and giving us the spotlight to stand under.
Well, y'all deserve it. It's like I've said all these years, I'm here for the independent artists, independent songwriters because you don't, here's the thing that I've said in the past. Behind the scenes, you got songwriters, you got also artists that write songs that other artists get, they like it, they sing it. But y'all don't get enough recognition. When you go to these fancy awards like CMA and all that, and you see all that's going on and stuff, but y'all don't get the recognition as a songwriter. They do sometimes. The artist brings a songwriter and whoever up there with them, but it's very few that do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, this is the kind of thing that you're doing. That could be the start of something huge. The Beatles got their start on the Ed Sullivan Show, in America they had already
right. I remember that.
But sometimes some really unexpected, really exciting things take off on just when you're least expecting them, and what you're doing, it could be an example of something, even if it allows one artist to really take off. I mean, it could really, you're doing a lot of good for the country right now, because you're bringing that country music that touches people's hearts, and it makes them connect with just being human. Like, we're all human, we're all part of a community. Right now there's just too much division in this country, and we need to come together.
Well, I think with you and all these other artists out there that I've talked to, and I've done it by phone when I first started this, and then this StreamYard software come out, and I took a chance and wanted to let everybody see who I am. I mean, I'm just a little old Southern country boy that's loves music and love to put it out there for the people to listen to. It's fun. It's interesting. I take all responsibility of paying the bills. Nobody sponsors me. That down there at the bottom, the CD stuff, is my wife. She sells it. So, but the thing of it is, I've been sponsoring this for almost 11 years now. And it's all been, I started out with the mixed music for young kids. And then I started finding out I needed to buy the software to do everything I wanted to do. And so I could track everything that went on,
Right.
And so, because when you rent or lease it from somebody else, you can't track it.
Right.
You ask them, they ain't gonna tell you. You send out something to their tech department. So, but what I'm getting at, for all the independent artists out there that I've played music for, it's been 17 different countries listening.
That's awesome.
uh, almost 3 million people out there a month. So
that gives you a powerful voice there, Buster.
yeah, I had a friend to tell me that I used to work with. He retired before I did, and then the doctor retired me though. But he told me one day we was talking about stuff, and he said, he said, you're ahead of the game. And I said, what are you talking about, head of the game? Well, they keep us saying FM radio is going to go to the side one of these days.
Yeah.
And so, you got satellite taking over about radio, like Sears stuff, taking over about almost 80% of it now. Every vehicle you get in, they don't have a CD player no more. They got a USB port where you can plug a chip into it or your phone into it, and everything's went almost digital.
Yeah, that's right. I have a lot of vinyl though. I prefer vinyl, and I wouldn't mind getting one of those old 8-track players again. I've got some 8-track. I'm just very romantic. I like to go back. I think that music is a great way to time travel.
Well, if you'd look here, I just got a hold of about, I don't know, 445s. And you talking about time traveling, it's some of the music that I've heard, some of it's country, some of it's, I don't know, but I got albums. I actually got cassette tapes, believe it or not.
Yep.
I got CDs. I moved several times in my life. And so the 8-tracks I've had, I couldn't tell you where they at because I used to have the amazing Ronnie Millsap.
I've got Kenny Rogers on an 8-track. Let's see if I can find it here. I thought I had it right here, but I guess I don't. But I've got some 8-tracks handy. I just don't have a
Well, people wouldn't know what that was if they seen it. Some of these young kids, they wouldn't know what 8-track was.
Right.
Uh,
I like to also, listen to I like to dig in the archives of the old radio shows. Now, I guess they can't play them in their entirety because there's probably copyright issues.
right.
But they play little pieces of them where they're from the 60s and the 70s. You can find it on YouTube. It's kind of another way to time travel. But I'm just into the whole concept of time travel, and like to go back to those days of especially during the country music when it was really taking off in its raw form.
Yeah. I mean, you look back, like Rory Acom, some of them artists, I can't name them all. It's probably because getting older, but but you go back and you listen to a lot of Chuck Berry, Charlie Pride, like I said, Roy Acom, Minnie Pearl. It sort of tells my age because I grew up here listening to hee haw and stuff.
That's good stuff. That's great stuff. And how about the Johnny Cash show?
Yeah, I used to watch it when I was little. I had to beg Daddy on, I think it come on Wednesday night back home, and I'd have to beg my dad, hey, Dad, let me just stay up. I know I got school tomorrow, but let me stay up watch the Johnny Cash show. June Carter and all of them,
Yeah, Johnny Cash is the one that launched Joni Mitchell's career, and she got her start on the Johnny Cash show, and she's from my hometown of Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
Okay. That's cool to know.
I think the song that Johnny Cash did, "Girl from Saskatoon," I think that might be about Joni Mitchell. I'm not.
It probably was. Him and I hate to say it, poor Willie Nelson and Waylon and all of them. It's several more I could think of back then. But Willie, he's still kicking.
Right. Yeah.
And still out there singing.
That's right. And there's people carrying on the tradition of Waylon Jennings, his son. I just
Yeah.
read a book of his son, Terry, who went on the road when he actually dropped out of high school to go on the road with Waylon. And he's got all kinds of great stories to tell in that book. Way Jennings, also the son of Waylon. I know that he's a good friend of Hollywood Howie's, and he's gone over to visit him a number of times, and they've hung out together. So there's people that just carry on that tradition.
Yeah, I'm a little jealous of Hollywood Howie because
But he's jealous.
he's right there in Nashville, and he gets to hang out with some of the greatest.
Yeah,
I seen a video I think he done or somebody done where they was out there on Johnny Cash's land,
yeah,
and Johnny Cash had built a theater. I don't know if you've seen it, but he built it was out of wood, tin roof, like an old barn, but it was cut in half, and it had church seats, look like they come from a church, and pews,
yeah.
and put in there, and had where the band could get on the stage, and then back behind it where all the sound equipment people set up and whatever. It was pretty awesome to see that, and I got to thinking, that's something special out here in the Midwest. If you could find a tract of land, somewhere to set something up like that, be like the old horse and buggy, ride up to it. And yeah, I know times has changed. We got engines and gas and diesel now, but you ride up to it and park and listen to some, country music. It's like bluegrass. I grew up some on bluegrass.
Yeah.
It was some bands around there, guys that I knew. Even a good friend of mine, he was my brother-in-law actually. Him and his dad, they played the banjo and the fiddle.
Yeah.
And we had another guy do
it. Speaking of banjo, I recently, and speaking of the old country, Glenn Campbell is kind of a crossover country, but
Yeah.
he was so brilliant, such a beautiful voice, and such a guitar. Some people think he's the best guitar player in the world. But his, of course, he died tragically of Alzheimer's related causes. But his family has done a remarkable job of keeping that tradition alive. They took him on tour. As soon as he found out he had Alzheimer's, they took him on one last tour. He sang Rhinestone Cowboy one last time at one of those award ceremonies. But his
it.
daughter plays the banjo really well, and she's got a beautiful voice. I think her name is, I don't know if it's Ashley Campbell or something like that, but she plays.
His daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she plays with some of the old band members, and she's like, she's keeping that tradition alive. Glenn Campbell was one of the greatest.
Well, you look at Glenn Campbell. I was sitting here, it popped in my head, and now it just went away. But you look at Glenn Campbell, George Jones,
Yeah.
The queen of country music, Loretta Lynn, Dolly Parton.
Right.
Some of the people that was back in them days, you look at them, it's a handful still out there, and they still singing. Like I said, Willie Nelson.
Dolly Parton's at the top of her game. She's coming out with a Christmas album on October.
Yeah.
It's called Have a Holly Dolly Christmas.
You were saying earlier about, some of them guys, they give you influence about where your music come from.
Yeah.
Okay. Where tell the people, where they can go and get your CDs and everything, and a little bit about you. If you got a website out there, they can.
I do. I have a website. It's www.drbltmusic.com. Now, if you go to just www.drblt.com, you're going to get the hijacked site. It's www.drbltmusic.com. But my music is all over the place. Like I said, I put 4 CDs out this year. Right before that, a Christmas album. I come out with a Christmas album every year. Got
Right.
another out, and you can find it on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, Google Play, Deezer, iHeartRadio, iTunes. It's pretty much everywhere, all the digital sites. And
Okay.
every once in a while, I'll burn a few hard copies and I'll do some artwork for them. But it's all under Dr. BLT. And this last album, I think, is getting a lot of attention. And thanks to you, Trailer Park Shrink will be getting even more.
Well, I might need to use that Trailer Park Shrink one of these days. So
Bartering.
I might want to borrow you.
Here and some burgers, and I'll talk about your problems.
Well, it's nice for you to come on tonight. I appreciate it and everything, and I enjoyed this, and I've learned a lot from you tonight. Because I didn't know where you got your influence from. Now I do.
Well,
I know you still got 8 tracks hiding back there somewhere.
Find myself an 8-track player. Tell you what, it's been a pleasure, Buster. And once again, I can't thank you enough for what you're doing.
I appreciate it. I mean, I really do. This right here is my award. A lot of people say they'll pick up something, show you an award or something, and they, I get my award talking to artists, learning things about something, because they always say, won't you write a song or sing? I said, well, I can turn the radio on. I mean, that's as far as I can play.
We don't have anything.
But y'all are amazing artists, and I appreciate y'all coming on, everybody. Again, this is Dr. BLT. Go out and check his music. I mean, it's great. I go out and listen to him every day, try to catch him on when he's on, and I do. If I don't catch him, I go out there and share it to everybody and hopefully a lot of y'all as music fans, and I share it because we got a family out there of independent artists, and right now they really need your help. So, go out and find them. They got tip jars up, they got CDs, they got shirts, whatever. Go out and, look for them and stuff, because a lot of them's hurting, because that's where y'all make a lot of y'all's money. Like you said, you got a job and everything, but you got some of them that started out right before this COVID-19, the coronavirus hit. They started out a year before that, just going around playing honky tonks or getting up with some mainstream artists and go play before he comes on, Now they can't do that, and they ain't making no profit that way. So
yeah, but we're all one family, and we're going to stick together. We're going to get through this, and we're going to become even better artists because of it. We're digging deep inside of our hearts for the great music. And thank you so much, Buster, for everything that you do for us.
I appreciate it. You have a good night. God bless you. Y'all take care on the West Coast.
God bless you. Have a good night.
And like I've been saying, we'll pray for the families out there on the West Coast and the people that's going through the hurricane right now down on the Gulf Coast. So God bless you. Have a good night, Bruce. You take care, okay?
God bless and good night, Buster.
Yes, sir. Bye-bye. Hey, this is Buster with Nightwave Radio. That was Dr. BLT on tonight. Again, this is with Nightwave Radio, H Team Management, sponsored by the CBD hemp, which is some good stuff. So y'all have a good night, everybody, and stay with us, and we'll do another show, get another artist on here. So have a good night, and God bless, and pray for everybody that, like I said, on the West Coast, and right now going through a flood on the Gulf. God bless.